Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our Employee Learning Week special series. If this is the first segment you're tuning in for, look around. There's likely a link somewhere nearby that'll take you to the full series, and we'd love for you to check the other episodes out. All this week, we're celebrating by reflecting on some of our favorite programming and initiatives from this past year. And we're inviting you, listeners, to engage with our chapter's mission and reflect on your own learning journeys. I'm Jami, VP of Tech Ops and President elect for A2ATD. And today we have a very special guest with us that probably doesn't need an introduction, but a longtime chapter supporter, sponsor, and speaker, Megan Torrance. Welcome.
Hey.
Most of our members already know you, but for our guest listeners, can you start by introducing yourself?
Hey, everybody, and thanks, Jami. This is so awesome to be here. I am Megan, and I'm the CEO and founder at TorranceLearning. And TorranceLearning is a full stack provider of comprehensive and rigorous solutions to workplace learning challenges. So we start with learning strategy, a lot of custom design and development. We do learning platform selection and operation and data and analytics, and then professional development for people in our field around agile agile project management for instructional design, around instructional design, evaluation, XAPI, data strategy, and professional development skills. And then in my spare time, because you know what else am I going to do? I am a facilitator, professional development courses at eCornell, and I teach instructional design at Penn State University.
Yes, in their spare time.
you know,
So most of you from our chapter already know I do work with Megan at Torrance Learning. I'm part of the marketing team. So this is something extra fun to get to bring her on for this today. Megan, could you provide a little context about your professional background? Just give us a little history.
Sure. I I have an undergraduate degree in communications, and I have an MBA. And with that combo, I came out and joined what is now Accenture, what at the time was Anderson Consulting's people practice. And young consultants started out by learning how to do instructional design. We built facilitator guides, we built e learning in authorware back when dinosaurs roamed the earth. And then I promptly didn't use any of that formally, but I went into a lot of process design and centralization and automation work for Anderson. And that gave me a ton of background business experience. And then I helped United Health Group implement their first ever learning management system. And it was a software company's first learning management system and my first learning management system. And so that started bringing back my instructional design roots, but very quickly, as I started getting into that LMS deployment space, those customers started saying, "Hey, can you help me build stuff that goes in this learning management system?" And really that took off from a marrying my individual performance and instructional design work with the organizational side of how do we centralize, automate, make efficient, and make accessible what our expected learning paths are for people. The rest is history.
The rest is history. And yes, bringing us to today, you are the Chief Energy Officer at Torrance Learning, and you are a huge supporter of the Ann Arbor ATD chapter. I know you also support other chapters around the nation, um, globe, even.
Yep.
So, what inspires you and Torrance Learning to contribute so much? You're a speaker, you've sent chapter members, you've supported board members at A2ATD, and how does this align with Torrance Learning's values around learning?
ATD has been a part of Torrance Learning for a very long time. Locally, it's been a fantastic way to get connected to the local community. We have hired a significant number of people on our team from the local chapter, and we've skilled up our own team members by including them in chapter learning events. Um, I think it's such an amazing opportunity to have a local connection for learning and professional development. And it's like, why would you pass this up? As a learning services company, I think it's really important that the cobbler's children actually have shoes to wear, and that we practice what we preach.
Love that.
Um, ATD makes that easy, and the local chapters make for an easy roll up to the national chapter, or the national organization that has so much to offer, almost so much that it's overwhelming.
Yeah. So, on that note, you've already touched on this a little bit, but how do you think local ATD chapters like Ann Arbor add value to the community's learning professionals? And how has this influenced your own company's involvement?
You know, one of the things that I have noticed, right, as I travel the country and recently the world, which has been pretty awesome, uh, is that the local chapters make it easy for people who otherwise wouldn't be able to engage in the national organization. The local chapters bring in local speakers, but also national speakers. And you don't have to travel for them, and it's cheap to get there, and they're right in your backyard. And at the same time, it's contextualized with all of your local colleagues. And at the same time, think about it. As learning and development professionals in organizations, often people are a distinct minority within their organization. Sometimes they're teams of one in smaller organizations. And when they come together at an ATD event, you're hanging out with people who speak your language. And that's really, really powerful. I really enjoy all of my local ATD chapter events that I go to, and I've been to a lot of
Yeah, you have.
them, a
So,
lot.
this week we're celebrating ATD's Employee Learning Week, but really, from my own experience, I can say Torrance Learning really celebrates employee learning all year long. So, could you share a memorable learning initiative that resonated with the team or clients?
Sure thing. I'm wearing my extraordinary T-shirt today, so I wanted to share a little bit about what we do ourselves. We shut the whole joint down for about a week every summer, and have our own team member learning opportunity called Extraordinary. We do things that we can't ordinarily do online or in the regular day of or the regular work week. So we come together and we learn together and we process together and we bond together. And that ability to learn and instantly contextualize with your team is really important and really powerful. So it's a big piece of momentum for our team, and is is something it's one of my favorite weeks all year long.
Well, can confirm it is definitely an extraordinary week. It's so good for like realigning, energizing, and I love it. So, what's one key takeaway that you would share with other companies that are considering more involvement with local ATD chapters, either during this Employee Learning Week or throughout the year?
I've already talked a little bit about the local chapter love, right? It's cheap. It's you don't have to travel. It's easy to access. I think what that also means is it makes it easy to loop in people who are related to the training organization, whether they're subject matter experts or project sponsors or key stakeholders in the organization. It's easy to loop them in and bring them to a local event, or engage them with something that the learning team is doing in the organization, and bring them along. I think you build relationships and partnerships and bridges by doing that. And at the same time, you're exposing that person to the world of talent development. And the fact that it's not just all about making pretty PowerPoints and standing up at new hire orientation. So I think there's some benefits in not keeping this just to ourselves.
Yeah, good. So, if you could share one tip with our members about investing in their own learning and development, what would it be?
I'm going to share two. Is that okay?
Give us the extra goodies.
The extra goodies, right? So one is simply make time for it, and that's really hard. My schedule is jam packed, but if I don't make time for learning, it doesn't happen. So put it on your calendar and then adjust as you go throughout the year, because what you need to learn changes. I think the second thing is to take advantage of the people within your organization to learn from them. So reach out to someone in business operations or somebody in logistics or transportation, somebody right in a different function, and learn about what they do. Again, it builds bridges, it builds your expertise, and it builds their awareness of other functions in the organization as well.
Oh, yeah, that's really good advice. Mine right at home. So, do you have a favorite book, podcast, or resource that's inspired you recently that you would recommend to our members or guests?
I do. Right now, I am reading Likeable Badass by Allison Fragel. She was interviewed by Adam Grant on his Rethinking podcast. They were actually colleagues at one point in their career. And Likeable Badass is written by a woman for a woman, but I think and she would agree this, there are strategies everyone can employ to be more assertive and more warm in your work life, and how that can influence your status and your power within the organization as a leader.
Nice. Well, we'll see if we can link that somewhere around for people to find easily. All right, one for fun. If you could have any superpower to help with your work and talent development, what would it be and why?
Laser vision! No, just kidding. You told me I couldn't have laser vision. I would like magical time stopping ability.
Oh,
That the world stops, we get time to learn or think or process or socially reconnect around something we've learned, without taking away from anything else. And nobody else gets that additional, so it's not like while we're doing that, they're filling our inboxes.
mm, yes, I would also like that superpower. Let's work on that.
Yeah. Okay.
2025. All right, before we go, let's give our listeners something to ponder. What's a question you want everyone to answer in the comments?
Okay, so here's what I want everybody to do. Think about someone who has the likelihood to be a really useful addition to your professional network, and either tag them in the comments below, or simply make a commitment to reaching out and adding them to your network. So think about who that might be and why, and add them below.
All right, well, there you have it. Let's hear it. Thank you, Megan, for your time. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Happy Employee Learning Week. Keep learning, keep networking, keep tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.